the El Jefe from Tactical Padel, made from Kevlar around it. So there are not many brands that use Kevlar, so this is like bulletproof. So the frame is made of Kevlar, which is the same material that you can put into a bulletproof vest. So if somebody shoots you, you have to use the side to block the bullet. Yep. So maybe we should try some smashes with the frame to see how fast we can smash. Besides all the joking, it was always difficult to have a racket that is powerful, but also arm-friendly. And I think Tactical Padel cracked the code, and they made a racket that is powerful and arm-friendly by using Kevlar in the rackets. The surface is made out of carbon, 3K carbon, and there are also 2 layers of fiberglass on the racket. The carbon is reinforced in the flex zones, and the flex zones of a racket is where there are no holes inside the racket. So if there is no holes here, the material becomes more flexible. This is also why I like these rackets that have less holes, because you have a lot of control and the ball goes very deep into the racket. I like this a lot. It's very, feels like I do this and the ball goes to the other side. Oh, yeah, like this. This is the one. The only thing I need to do. It's like this. Boom. A lot of power, huh? Yeah, that's it. I don't even need to swing. Look. Boom. The sweet spot is super big. That's it. Yeah, I can play fast, still control, and the sound of the racket is also amazing, in my opinion. You hear the sound? It's like boom. To explain myself a little bit, I have tested over 180 different rackets in the last 2 years. I have my own paddle shop, and I started with 14 paddle brands 2 years ago, and I was testing and trying out rackets and to see what people like and what people don't like, to find out what kind of rackets people need. So I gave a lot of paddle brands the chance to do well in our paddle shop. For me, I want to find out what the best possible racket is. Not the best possible design, not the best possible marketing, or not the most fancy naming specifications with the brand, but the best possible paddle racket in the world. And to this day, there are only 3 brands left that we have in the store. That's Head, Royal Padel and Tactical Padel. Look how much slice I can give with the El Jefe. You see how much it's sliding? Look how far it comes. It's a very rough racket. I like this so much. In my opinion, there's just a small portion of people that should play with a diamond or teardrop shaped racket. Most paddle players should play with a round shaped racket, and if you are honest, how many shots in the game percentage wise is the smash? So how often does the smash come? I think it's never more than 8% of all your shots. So do you need a racket for the 8% of your entire game? Maybe it's even 5%. Let's say it's 8% or 10%, let's make it 10%. Do you need a racket for that 10% or do you need a racket for that 90% of your game? Okay, so let's start off with some víboras. I like to find out how much slice I can give with the El Jefe, the boss. Oh, it's too much power. Wow. Look how much slice. I haven't played with new balls with the El Jefe, to be honest. So much slice. And the sound is so good of my favorite racket. Holy shit. Soft in the center. Look how it's curving. So good. Oh, okay, kick. That's nice. Easy, one. Oh, nearly, I hit the net and it nearly went out. Oh, nearly. Yeah, it's a lot of wind. There's a lot of wind, so it's not easy to kick. Oh, my timing is difficult today. Wow, it flew off the racket. Whoa! So I have difficulties controlling the power. I should play softer. I think I just need to do like a soft kick. Yeah. I just gonna. Yeah. You see how it went up. So the racket now is just. Oh, too soft. Firm and soft at the same time. Yeah, it's like this. I just need to. I'm not hitting the ball very hard. Look how high with this wind. Holy moly, did you see that smash? Most people, when they're buying a racket, they need to know the following things about the racket. So this is, for everybody, this is not brand related, but this is important. Is your racket arm friendly is number one. Ask yourself the question and see if it's EvaSoft, polyethylene. Where is the racket made? Point number two. This is a massive difference. I have tested a lot of rackets. There's a big difference if the racket is made in Pakistan, China, or Argentina and Spain. It's insane. Portugal is also a place where they make rackets and they're also quite good. Not only where the racket is made, it's also what kind of material you use. Because in Pakistan, they probably use the Pakistani carbon, for instance, and that's way worse in quality than if, that's why I like the Tactical Padel rackets, is they made the Otro with the German carbon, Mercedes carbon, in Spain. And it's very important that you have to see that there are tricks that the racket brands are using. If a racket says designed in Spain, it does not mean it is made in Spain. It's a trick. So be careful with that, and I want to make sure that you choose a racket that you need to play with, and not a racket that is, because it's marketed very well, that it's the best racket in the world. If a racket doesn't say 100% carbon, it can happen that the racket is not actually 100% carbon. It could be, I'm not saying it isn't, but it can be that it's 51% carbon and 49% fiberglass. So that's not the same quality as 100% carbon. So these are specifications that you can look up on the website of most racket brands to see if they make tricks, who doesn't make tricks. The most important message that I would like to give to you is that because I tested so many rackets, I just feel the difference a little bit more. So I want to highly recommend that if you can test before you buy a paddle racket. And that's also why I selected, well, I was downgrading from 14 brands to 3 brands in my shop. Because it's just, I just kind of, without telling, and I gave people like some rackets and they always picked out the same rackets. So in my opinion, this is very important information. And also what I really want to address, because people are asking me, are the Tactical Padel rackets really that good? Yes, they are. I was selling the Tactical Padel rackets 2 years before I actually was sponsored, so I'm sponsored now, but I already sold Tactical Padel 2 years before I was sponsored. Also bear in mind that the professional paddle players are not playing with the same racket. They play with a different kind of foam. They play with a customized racket. I want to explain to you as best as possible how this racket feels. What I personally like control rackets, so that's why also we are selling the Tactical Padel rackets in the shop. But for me it's important that you don't choose a racket because I play with it or Bella plays with that one, so you buy the Wilson, or you Tapia plays with the Nox, so you buy Nox. You have to test it. You have to find out if the specifications match your playing style. So this is also why we have on Racket Team the WhatsApp number. So if you have a question and you need specific advice on what kind of racket you need, you can text me. I will try to help you as best as possible to find the racket you should play with. So if you cannot test, text me so I can help you and advise you as best as possible. And for the rest, this is my review about the Tactical Padel. I'm really happy with the El Jefe. I already tested it. In Spain, I might use the El Rey more, and in Holland maybe the El Jefe. What is important to tell you is that if you test these, or if you buy it and you play with it straight away, the racket is still quite hard. In the beginning, when I was playing with the rackets, to be honest, I did not like it a lot because it was too hard and I didn't have control. When I was playing 2-3 times with the racket and I was playing some matches, the racket became softer and I had way more control. So you need to give the racket a little bit more time. If you test a paddle racket, also ask, because this is important, how often the racket is used. Because if the test racket is already there for a year, it is nowhere near the feeling of the racket. So ask of the guy that sells you the racket or have the test rackets, how old is the racket, how often is it used? The massive difference, massive, especially with this. So the more you play with it, the more you get control. And it's not like it's losing power. I think it will happen after a year, but it becomes more flexible. Part of the racket is adjustable, so you can make it bigger and smaller. And this is also antibacterial. The racket is in between 355 and 375. And if you need a specific weight, we can try and check what we have in stock. It's going quite fast with the rackets already. But if you need a specific weight, text us and we can send you the weight that you would like to have. It might be my favorite racket that Tactical Padel ever made. So how does the El Jefe play? I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Because it's just very easy to maneuver the racket around. The sweet spot is enormously big. You have a lot of power, you have a lot of control. It is super arm friendly. It is round shaped, so it's very easy to maneuver. I like it a lot. If you can see the smashes, it was quite difficult with the wind, but if you hit it well, it goes very fast. And I think this is a racket that everybody can play with. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to be like an advanced player to play with the racket. Everybody can play with the racket. And what makes it unique is that you have this in the middle, that you have this flexible material. It's Kevlar, it's very strong. The sound is it feels like a deep racket, that the ball goes deep into the racket, which is my favorite feeling with the racket. So this is going to be my racket that I'm going to play with in Holland. I haven't tested the Otro 2.0, but this is for Holland amazing. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you in the next episode. Hasta luego, ciao, adios. If you would like to purchase this racket, click the link here below to get it. Vamos.